Yes, massive crew, back once again with another video, another Akai S950 hardware sampler video. As promised and as requested, so many people have been asking me to do videos about the 950, and we're going to get around to the EMU as well if you smash that like button. And also, if I get to 150 likes on this video, I am going to upload an Hxc image of all the samples used and processed in this video. So please smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed, people, and I will upload that and send it to cyberspace scene so you can download it. Okay, so today's video is about the Akai S950, little oversight of it, a little bit of history, where it came from, how it came about, and also stay tuned because at the end I'm going to show you how to time stretch on this bad boy. Classic sampler. So without further ado, let's get into it. This sampler is one of the first samplers I bought for making hardcore jungle back in the day. This has a unique sound. It's a 12-bit sampler. Another thing I like about this sampler is it has a kind of onboard manual on the front panel of it, i.e. edit sample shows all the different modes, edit program shows all the different modes, and the same for the disk menu, as you can see, which is a really cool feature there, because if you ever get stuck, you can always look at the different menus to see what the score is. On my sampler there, I've got the lovely alien green, as you can see, alien green from Retro Illumination. And I've also got my Hxc emulator installed, working lovely. So guys, this awesome sampler was produced in 1998 to 1993. It was made in Japan originally, and it was produced by a guy called Dave Cockrell and H. Takamura. The number of these samplers produced was about 15,000, and it's a 12-bit linear sampling device, which means it's got its own characteristic 12-bit sound, which sounds awesome if you're making old school jungle, legendary true sound. When it first came out, it was worth about £1,300, I believe. That's what I paid for my first one. Saved up a very long time for that piece of kit there, and that's equated at the time to about 25,000 US. You could pick them up like new for about, say, 500 quid, I would say now, but sometimes with mods you could probably pay more for it. When the Akai first came out back in the day, it was for all the savvy musicians out there, but for me this was like one of the first ever samplers to contain time stretching. Time stretching is that legendary sound for jungle music that goes all jungle. For those of you who don't know that sound, it's a legendary jungle sound. You can sample at all different rates on this sampler. The Akai S950 operates at much like the S900. The sample record pages take you through the setup procedures one step at a time, which is really cool. Although you can also sample up to 48K, this will affect your memory and reduce how much sample time you can have on the sampler. You can also use it for drums. It's got 8 outputs, which is also awesome thing about it. You know, you could use this as a drum kit by loading your samples in. The 950 also stood the test of time. Many people continued to use their samples throughout the 1990s and beyond, and even still today. Top producers have been using this, like Norman Cook, Steve Hackett, and many jungle producers was used in the early Brain Record stuff, and a lot of the 94, 95 jungle, like Fist to Fist and drum and bass records. Some of those early wicked piece of tune and tracks like that were used on the Akai S950. If you look on my Akai S950 at the moment, you can see I have got a retro green screen refit from Retro Illumination. Also, I have fitted a cool Hxc emulator, which took me some time to figure out how to work with this. For more information on the Hxc emulator, check out samploids.com. Another tip worth mentioning: if an S950 disk appears damaged and you feel that your sample data has been lost, try loading the samples or programs individually instead of powering them up on one disk. You'll find that trick, you can decipher some of your stuff. You can even put it into OmniFlop, and you can archive your disk to disk image, convert it to HFE, and put it into your Hxc emulator and use it that way. Also, you could get SCSI fitting for this sampler if you're lucky. It's rare as rocking horse crap at the moment. The S950 was never a fancy machine, but you can get and with advanced facilities such as onboard effects, stereo sampling and stuff. SCSI was also available for this machine as an option. but I've never used one of these with a SCSI. You can use programs on it for editing. For those of you who don't know about the science behind time stretching, the S950 was the first Akai sampler to implement time stretching. And time stretching, the scientific process of that is enabling you to alter the length of a sound without changing the pitch. And this gives your samples a really cool edge, famous for that jungle sound and many other types of genres. It gives you that kind of metallic, artificial kind of sound, which is really cool. There's also a vast range of Akai third-party sounds available for the 950. You just have to look online, or maybe you can get your hands on some disc images nowadays. The S950 has its own specific coloration to the sound and feel, and you put breaks into this thing and they just sound amazing. So guys, without further ado, let's get into how to time stretch on your Akai S950. Okay, so here we have a loop. So basically you go down to the edit sample menu and scroll down to where it says stretch, which is menu number 14, and it says new sample. You can see it says new sample, and what you do is where it says new sample, you put the name of your new sample, whatever you want it to be. So it could be, for example, beat stretch. I mean, back in the day, all we used to do was literally just go along like this, press minus button or hash button, or just scroll. That's it. Scroll down, turn the dial that way, and that's the name of your sample, right? Then the first stretch will be 200, so you can press it. Press that. 200, 900, whatever you want. So let's set it to 200. That one will go there. Move it along. Go to do. Hit enter. Then this light will freeze for a while. Wait for it to come back. Just wait for it to start flashing again. And it's going to create a new sample, which is going to be your sample stretched. So check it out. So now you go back to your menu, select your sample, you go here, look, it's got a new sample there, and that's a stretch version. And if you wanted to make another one, and another thing to get an idea of what it's like, if you go into here and you just change the pitch of it, you can go to here and change the pitch by doing this, look. Go into the pitch button and just changing that. So you can hear the sound of it a little bit better. And then you just go back to your sample again. So suppose you wanted to make one that rises. You could do that. Scroll down. And then you can put the next sample on the time stretch. Call that number 2. So get your cursor. Press the letter. Scroll along to the end. Call that number 2. Press the letter again. Change that. You can go up in increments of 200s, so make that 400. Go to the do, hit the do button, wait for it to come back again, and each time, remember, it's using up quite a bit of memory to do this, yeah? So only time stretch the part that you actually want to time stretch, i.e. just the section that you're trying to achieve time stretch. So now we've made another sample there. Now there we go. That's number 2. And again, if you play the upper pitch just to see what it sounds like for kicks, you just give you that kind of dark stranger noise. And then when you're done, you just look at my key group video and how to put them into key groups. Same would go for like a vocal sample. Let's have a look here. Let's do this now. I'm going to get a microphone, pop that in there quickly. So we got A. Okay, so we've got all crew, right? So we just label that all crew, set my sample rate up. I'll leave that about 10, and then I'll just do all crew, all junglist. Okay, let's go. Okay, next same process again. We go edit sample, we get our all crew. Then we put a nice little 400 stretch on that. Actually, before we do that, let's make sure that this sample is truncated properly.
All crew.
For those who don't know what truncating is, yeah, truncating is when you get rid of the end point of the sample. So you cut it down.
All crew. All crew.
Okay guys, for those of you who don't know what truncating is, or what we call discarding the endpoints, the reason why we do this is to save memory, because the Akai S950 has very, very limited memory back in the day. So you had to make use of your memory, you had to try different tactics by speeding up the sample on the turntable before you sample it. That way it goes in a lot faster and you save time. And another technique, like as I'm showing you now, is how to trim the start and end points of the sample. So, you know, you'd move your start point up a bit to the very beginning, cut off any space at the start, and also any excess, or if the sample had a bit of excess or silence at the end of it, you want to chop that down to save memory. And then you just go to discard before start and after end. That's your feature there. That'll save a lot to sample time. So you hit that, hit enter, and then when you go back here, you shouldn't be able to move this endpoint any further. So you've got
all crew.
Now you're going to save some sample time. Okay, so then we go to Timestretch, and here we go.
All crew.
Get a junglist and do the same thing.
All junglist.
Truncate the end.
All junglist. All junglist. All junglist.
There you go, got the end on the end. Discard before start and end. Menu 10. Then we can go into Timestretch from there. Hit the letter, give that a name. I know, call it number 4. Just being Rago now. Also, you can adjust the D time as well. That gives it a different effect. I'll show you that one. Sick. Okay.
All crew. All junglist.
Okay, so let's try another one. Here you go.
All crew.
Alright, so let's try just taking down the D thing. D whatever it is, D time. Okay, so let's try this one. Right, let's go 444. This is a lazy way of doing it, by the way. Adjust your D time. I think the D time goes up as well. Let's see what happens when you take it down. Give you another effect. Try that on some breaks as well. That'd be cool. Comment down below if you want to see that, or you've tried it. So we've got Timestretch breaks. We've got all crew.
All crew.
The D time made a little bit of a difference there, didn't it? Hold on.
All junglist. All crew.
I'm going to do a crazy one now. One last one, guys, to wrap this up.
All junglist.
Let's get that D time going again. So that was taken down a bit, but let's see how the max D time. What does that do? And I'm going to label that max. Oh, that'll do. It's so much easier these days when you've got a keyboard, eh? We're spoilt these days, we don't even know. Right, here we go. Boom. try that crazy. We'll try extreme and see what happens with that.
All junglist.
So that gives us like an echo.
All junglist.
Okay, that's interesting. Right, now get rid of that, and then I'm going to see, it's good to experiment with this kind of thing. I'm going to try the same thing again.
All crew. All junglist.
But this time, for the last experiment, I'm going to take it all the way up, see what happens. All the way down, sorry, my bad. Put the D time on 0, 100. I'm looking for that kind of mad effect. And you've got mono poly on there as well. Oh look, you can do auto D time. I'm not sure what the D time is, you know, to be fair. Alright, wait for this to start flashing. There you go, it's flashing. Back again. What have we got here? There you go. So guys, there you have it. Akai time stretching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please smash the like button. If I get to 100 likes, I will upload this .image file for people who've got Akai S950s and Akai S950s, and I'll package the samples up and I'll upload them for you guys to download. I'll do the HFE format as well, so you can use it in your Akai. Okay guys, since this video, I've also made that pack available now in my Patreon for the Patreon crew who are supporting this channel. All the sponsors of this channel can get that right now in my Patreon. Patrons, big up yourself. Please consider becoming a patron, help support this channel financially, help it to grow, and help me to have more time to allocate to doing videos rather than chasing me ass to pay for the towel. You know what I mean? Rather than out in the rat race trying to pay the bills, I could be here making music, making videos, cool videos like this for you guys 24/7. Okay guys, enough said. Perks in the Patreon. Thanks in advance. Take care. God bless. Peace.